Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. The afternoon sun gently warmed the cobblestones of the city center, but the air was thick with tension for Aisha. A 17-year-old black girl, she was walking calmly toward the park exit after a long day of classes. She was listening to music, headphones in, completely unaware of the danger that would emerge in seconds. Suddenly, a patrol officer jumped out from behind a tree and blocked her path. "Hey! Stop right here," he yelled. His voice was aggressive, devoid of any reason. Aisha took off her headphones, confused and a little frightened. She threw up her hands in surprise. "Sir, I didn't do anything," she tried to say. But before she could even finish her sentence, the policeman grabbed her arm and pushed her against the park wall. "You dirty little girl," he muttered, hurling racist insults Aisha never imagined she would hear. Fear gripped her, but that feeling was quickly replaced by burning anger. She was not a passive victim. As he was about to strike her again, Aisha made a swift and precise movement, breaking free from his grip and striking him back. The policeman, completely shocked by her retaliation, staggered backward. Passers-by had stopped, astonished by this unexpected scene, a young girl standing up to a uniformed officer. This suspended moment revealed something deeper. Aisha wasn't simply courageous, she was ready to defend herself and never let her identity or dignity be trampled upon. For the first time, the policeman felt unsettled. He knew nothing about her, her inner strength, her story, and what he had just unleashed would soon surprise him even more. The park was silent, save for the shocked murmurs of the few passers-by who had witnessed the scene. The policeman, still reeling from Aisha's retort, was barely regaining his balance. He blinked, as if to confirm that what he had just seen was real. A 17-year-old girl had just stood up to him. You dare hit me?" he stammered, trying to regain his composure. Aisha, her fists clenched but her gaze determined, calmly replied, "Yes, because you have no right to hit me or insult me. You have the wrong person." Witnesses began taking out their phones. An elderly woman murmured, "She's got guts. I would never have had the courage to do that at her age." Others nodded in admiration. Passers-by, shocked by the police officer's behavior, were now moving closer to observe and record the scene. The policeman felt the situation slipping out of his control. His initial anger mingled with growing embarrassment. He couldn't hit this girl in front of so many witnesses. He tried to backtrack. "Listen, it wasn't." But Aisha didn't let him finish. "No. You can't erase what you've done. But I can choose how I react." Her calm and strength surprised everyone. Even the police officer felt a pang of shame he had never known before. Then, suddenly, a man in his 40s, dressed in an impeccable suit, approached the group. He looked at Aisha with a mixture of pride and gravity. "My daughter, you did the right thing, but we must handle this intelligently." Aisha immediately recognized her father, a respected high-ranking official, whose reputation and authority would soon completely change the course of events. The policeman, now realizing the girl's true identity, paled. The shock was immediate. He had just assaulted not only a teenager, but the daughter of a powerful man, known for not tolerating any injustice. The balance of power and the gravity of the situation had been reversed in an instant. The park, once a mere backdrop for an ordinary day, was now the scene of a lesson in daring, courage, and justice that would not soon be forgotten. The next day, the park seemed almost empty, but news of what had happened the day before had spread like wildfire. Videos posted by passers-by began circulating on social media, showing Aisha's courageous stand against a racist police officer. Comments ranged from widespread support to outright outrage at the initial aggression. The police officer, however, didn't sleep a wink all night. Every image of the scene haunted him: Aisha's determined gaze, her unexpected strength, and above all, the moment he realized his mistake. Fear rose within him as he imagined what his superior and the witnesses would think. Aisha's father, informed of the incident, decided to intervene personally. An influential and respected figure in the local administration, he was well versed in the workings of the justice system and the police. He immediately called the police station to request a full report. When he arrived, his composure commanded respect. The police officer, who had thought he could downplay the situation, felt overwhelmed by his mere presence. "Sir, I," stammered the policeman, unable to formulate a suitable excuse. "I believe you know very well what you have done," replied Aisha's father, his piercing gaze sweeping across the room. "This is not simply an insult to my daughter, it is a serious dereliction of duty." Meanwhile, Aisha was present, silent but dignified. Every word spoken by her father seemed to bolster her own inner strength. The police officer's colleagues, as well as his direct superior, watched the scene with growing concern. The situation went far beyond a simple altercation. The police officer's career and reputation were now at stake. Then, a further surprise occurred. Several witnesses on social media had begun to come forward, ready to testify about the assault. The evidence was clear, and the police officer realized with horror that his racist act could not be erased. In that heavy silence, the lesson was clear: violence and racism had a price, and strength, dignity, and courage could overthrow the power of those who believed themselves untouchable. Aisha and her family were now at the center of a decisive turning point, and the police officer was about to learn that underestimating someone because of their skin color could have unpredictable and severe consequences. The police officer had no choice. The images of his assault, which had gone viral, had triggered an immediate internal investigation. His superiors, worried about the media attention, called emergency meetings. For the first time, he felt that his authority would not protect him. Aisha, for her part, was accompanied by her father and a lawyer hired by the family. The young woman was calm, her courage undiminished. She knew that the truth and the evidence were on her side. Every testimony, every video posted on social media strengthened her position. When the official summons arrived at the police station, the officer appeared visibly tense. He had prepared some superficial apologies, hoping to calm the storm. But as soon as the meeting began, he understood that this time, the reprimand was real and he couldn't avoid it. The police officer's superior opened the session. "Your actions yesterday are unacceptable. A full investigation will be conducted. You are suspended until further notice." The shock on the policeman's face was palpable. His superior's words echoed in the room: "No excuses possible, no privileges." Then Aisha spoke, her voice clear and firm: "I asked for nothing more than to be treated with dignity. But I was attacked simply because of the color of my skin. I refuse to let this go." Silence fell over the room. Every word was a reminder that power and blind violence could not control everything. The superiors meticulously noted every detail, aware that the community was watching the situation closely. In the days that followed, the investigation revealed problematic behavior on the part of the police officer, strengthening Aisha's case. The media began to follow the story, transforming what could have been a simple incident into a symbol of justice and courage. The policeman gradually realized that his racist act was not only morally reprehensible, it had triggered a reversal of fortune from which he would not emerge unscathed. Aisha's response had changed the course of events and reminded everyone that courage and dignity could overthrow even the most intimidating power. Karma, invisible but powerful, was beginning to strike. And for the policeman, the lesson had only just begun. The following weeks were intense. The internal investigation had revealed not only the assault on Aisha, but also several previous incidents where the police officer had abused his authority. The evidence was overwhelming, and the media pressure continued to mount. On the day of the disciplinary hearing, the police officer entered the courtroom, visibly nervous. For the first time, he realized that his behavior could no longer be ignored or excused. Aisha, sitting beside her father, watched him with unwavering calm. Every gesture of the police officer now seemed small and insignificant compared to his undiminished dignity. The police chief spoke: "We have examined the evidence, heard from witnesses, and reviewed the videos. Your behavior is unacceptable and goes against everything our institution stands for. You are permanently suspended, and your case will be forwarded to the appropriate judicial authorities." The policeman turned pale, unable to reply. His world of power and impunity had just collapsed in a few sentences. After the hearing, Aisha went out with her father to the park where it had all begun. Passers-by, who had followed the case online, gave her admiring looks and encouraging smiles. She knew that justice had been served, but above all, that her courage had inspired others never to remain silent in the face of injustice. Her father placed a hand on her shoulder. "You have been incredibly brave. You have shown that even in the face of fear and injustice, one can stand up and defend what is right." Aisha smiled, moved but proud. She had not only protected her dignity, but she had also torn down a wall of racism and abuse of power. The policeman, for his part, now had to face the consequences of his actions, alone with the reality he had chosen to ignore. And in Aisha's heart, a deep certainty, strength, courage and justice could triumph, even in the darkest situations.